A win after the government yesterday delivered a bill that'll see millions flow to the industry. The government had earlier looked to increase tax cuts for the sector while simultaneously trying to tighten the rules, but later folded to Labor's demands, abandoning restrictions to get the bill through Parliament.
They got to the point of realising they might not be able to win not only in the Senate but in the House of Representatives, and they folded. Had they not folded, jobs were going to be lost in small businesses. There was going to be a tax hike on small businesses in the film industry that would cost jobs.
That's Labor's Tony Burke, who was on the show last night. It's a timely boost, given you may have noticed TV looks a lot nicer now, which probably means it's costing a lot more to make it.
I'm stepping down from my position as Senator, and I will be the next Minister for Indigenous Australians.
Do you have leadership ambitions of your own?
A mouthy blackfella for Prime Minister. I'd like to see that.
I hear little voices.
Frightening, isn't it?
Hello, little ones.
Those are the beautiful Aussie Productions Total Control and Old People's Home for 4-year-olds. 0418 226 576. What do you make of governments giving greater tax breaks to Aussie Productions? And what about Australian programs that you couldn't live without or you'd like to see more of? I'd like to hear from you. In the meantime, Matt Diener is the CEO of Screen Producers Australia. Matt, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How significant are these changes for the Australian screen sector?
Oh, yeah, this is massive actually, because we were all watching more television content than ever, and there's so much content coming in from overseas on whether it's on iView or Netflix or Amazon or any of the other platforms, and so Australian content's really got to stand up to a global marketplace, more than it's ever done, and that requires dollars. You've got to do a better job. So in order for us to be competitive and to make sure that we can both keep entertaining Australians, because, they expect a higher quality of content from us and from services like the ABC, but everyone else, in order to deliver on that promise, but also to have a chance of us taking our stories out into the, worldwide market, as we've been very successful in the past around this. We've got to have dollars on screen, and that's got to come from various, mechanisms or other boosts. Other countries are doing this, and really what we've gotten out of this major reform is a massive plus to increase the dollars that we can deliver, in the productions that we're doing. So I think there's a massive sigh of relief because this was a backdated measure from the government that hadn't yet happened. So all of this was high pressure stakes for all the, I look after a lot of different businesses that make the content, and they were, up to their eyeballs trying to make sure this happened. But, the bigger picture is that we're able to deliver for audiences in an ongoing way with better dollars on screen. So that's really huge. It helps build our industry. It helps build the profile of Australia outwards, and it actually will do a huge amount of, benefit for jobs, because we know that people really want to work in this industry, and this is a plus in so many ways as a consequence.
How expensive is it to make TV these days, given, the sort of online demand and the fact that they're being made in really different ways? In kind of, they're like movies when you binge TV now. And has it been too slow to keep up with the costs?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because if you think about it now, if you watch a series on, Australian series, but also international series, you're getting 10 hours of content, and each of those hours of content is almost the same price as what a movie would have cost to have watched as a single episode. So, the costs have gotten bigger, but that's partly because of the competition globally for good ideas, good content. Many expenses going to the development of series, and people have a very low threshold now for, a flimsy set or an uncredible sort of moment on television. You can spot that a mile away. So the expectation is got to be that it's got to be spot on. That means it's got to be expensive, sometimes sets to be built, a staging of different, moments, drama, action, all of those things have got to be absolutely spot on in order to keep the audience's attention. And look, that's created a bar that we've got to really raise ourselves to. But this is, as I say, allows us to do that. And you're right, we've moved away from maybe watching movies in the same way that we have. We certainly, love going to the cinema still, and we watch many, many movies movies still, we hope, going forward. It's been challenging with COVID, but increasingly Australians are watching, and globally we're watching really great television series as small part, 10 parts, 3 parts on our services. So, that's the thing that we've got to work towards and deliver for.
Will this make Australian TV productions more competitive globally?
It absolutely will, hands down, because, this is also a global market for talent we're dealing with. In order to get our top actors and directors back into Australia, we've got to come up with great ideas, but we've got to be able to pay them because they can get, great work overseas as well. So this is about delivering better projects, keeping our creative talent in Australia, which is really critical, or else, we lose all of the opportunities for us to use the best and brightest and most talented people in Australia. It really will make a big difference to the type of content I think that people will start to see on their screens, which is really great. We've done very well as an industry. We've always been, I think, delivering dollars on screen more than the budgets would surprise people relative to what other budgets in the UK or the US are. And that's a credit to the ingenuity of a lot of people and the ability to kind of find methods. But it comes a point where you really need to be out there and delivering and being able to get the best together. And we've also got a challenge because it's a global market. And if we don't want to be just delivering, a Hollywood story in Australia.
Matt, I think we've lost you. I think we have. That's Matt Diener. He's the CEO of Screen Producers Australia. This is Radio National Drive.